Hey everybody, it's Mimi from Empower Yourself. Actually, be heard first and then empower yourself. I'm doing this show for 3 years and I still get the name wrong sometimes. But I do have a lot going on in my life, so you have to excuse me. But today is going to be such fun for me because our guest is my friend Erin Celise. Hi, Erin.
Hello.
Hi. And Erin's been on a few times. In fact, we have had several topics that we've talked about. And Erin is an advanced soul realignment practitioner and certified life coach. And she's dedicated to moving individuals from being stuck and repetitive cycles into purposeful aligned living, which is where the name of her book came from. She has just published a book. And you tell them the title because it's a long title.
Oh, well, it's actually pretty short. It's just aligned. It's aligned,
Oh,
but
aligned. Oh,
yeah.
but do you have a subtitle maybe?
Yeah, I mean, it's a visionary novel on,
Yeah.
living.
Oh, okay. Okay. I thought it was like, subtitle and I didn't memorize it. But Erin, she specializes in helping us with our soul's blueprint. I've done a lot of good work with her, clearing my own karmic patterns and understanding a lot of my, let's say, actions in this world. And she also helps bridge that gap between spiritual insight and real world results. Is that about it? That
Yeah, that is
describe you perfectly?
that is that
Well,
that's the nutshell.
spot on. And we're going to talk about things like the Akashic Records and spirit guides and things. But I need to say that I have a video. Cameras are all over the house because, as you know, Aaron, my husband has Parkinson's stage 4.
Mhm.
And I have cameras. Now he's in a program, so he always has somebody with him. But at one point, if I went to get my nails done or whatever, I could check in and see that he was not on the floor, sitting in his recliner. And one night, the night vision caught something very unusual, which is on Instagram, TikTok, on my website. You have it,
Yeah,
Aaron.
I saw it.
And supposedly I have how many spiritual guides? 6 or 7.
I think it's six.
I think it's 6 too. Yeah. So
Mhm.
in this, there are exactly 6 round orbs floating around my bedroom. And after a few minutes, the last one comes right at the camera as if it's leaving. Oh, I didn't do that. My picture's right. All right, I'm talking about my guides. Maybe they don't like it. Anyway, I have that on video and I kept it. And at first there were skeptics like my brother, oh, well, it's car lights coming in. I don't have any windows in my bedroom. The one window I have has a shade on it. And there's no road back there. Okay. Then he said, dust bunnies. I said, they're perfectly round, perfectly round. So everybody that's seen it is like amazed because there's 6 of them.
Yeah, it,
There's
it it is really neat. I watched it and they do just float around and
like
kind
they're
of go in
checking
and
on
out,
me.
sort of over the bed and
Yeah,
back.
it shows. It's like okay, she's in bed now. We can leave for a while. I love that. So anybody listening or watching this episode, go check it out. It's on my YouTube thing. It's on. You have it too, don't you? Do you have it
Hmm.
posted?
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
seen it.
but do you have it posted on any of your
It's
media?
on Facebook. Yeah,
It's on her Facebook.
it's
Okay,
over on the Facebook.
and it's amazing. It really is. So, for people that don't know, what exactly are the Akashic Records and where are they?
Yeah.
Right.
Where is an interesting question because it kind of says we're going to put it in a space.
Yeah.
Um, it's almost more like a when, although it does expand your past, your present, your future, including your past lives. So
Mhm.
I always like to explain it is that it's the library of your soul, if you
Mhm.
want to think of it that way. And so it's where all of your karmic energy and your patterns and your past life experiences get stored, but they also can come in and influence what's happening today.
Hmm.
Now, the nice thing about it being a library, and not just, if you get a reading of the stars or something and it's kind of set, like this is what you are, this is how it is in
Mhm.
the Akashic records, because these are things that you essentially, deposited or put on your own shelves in your own records, you can choose through your own actions to change those. So I think the hard part is knowing which ones to change, or if they're even there. But it was interesting. I mean, short side story, but a friend of mine on TikTok was like, I feel like somebody is paying people to act the exact same way around me and do the exact same things. And I was like,
Well, paranoid.
yeah, like just pointing it out that every single relationship she gets into ends up being the same kind of person, and so she wants to avoid all relationships ever. And
She needs to.
I just casually
Yeah.
typed on there, well, in my world we call that an energetic loop,
Yes.
and you
Yes.
relive it and you keep doing it over and over until you name it, clear it, and move off of it.
She
So
needs to change. That's the
yes.
thing. Now,
Yeah.
I do want to say that for me, I know I haven't been able to do it yet. Not everybody is able to access records, especially the way you do it. I think it's a very rare skill myself, because for an individual to access their own records, you have to have a certain type of basic instinct or something, just like people that say they can speak to the dead, and maybe they can, but I don't. I can't. I don't pretend that I can. And there's no special prayer or uh, way to initiate it that I know of. I know the way you do it, and you have a gift. So that's where I'm going with this. I think people have certain gifts, and I know what my gifts are, and I think that's your gift. What do you think about that explanation?
I, it's hard. I don't like to say it's a gift because I feel like, well, people can access their records. They
Yes, they
can,
can.
it's something that you can learn. I think where what has happened is just through the practice of, entering records and exiting records for different people at different times, you get really used to putting yourself and kind of being in this state of openness, which
Mm.
makes you more in tune, and then able to kind of download, or be the conduit, as someone's called me before, but just like those messages come through and I'm able to filter them. Yeah, I was thinking about this conversation and just, and people asking like, well, can I get in my own records? You totally can. But
Yeah.
also you could give yourself your own massage. It doesn't mean it's going to be a good massage or you're going to hit the right parts. Like a lot of times there's
Yeah.
just things that if you have someone else come in and do it with you or for you, you're going to
Yeah.
get so much more out of it because you yourself kind of have these blocks.
That was my
So
next question. Exactly. I was going to say the difference between a reading from a professional and reading your own records. That's exactly what I was going to ask you, and you did. Um, like my mind is, I don't want to say it is open, it's very open, too open. And I have a lot in there. And I find meditation even difficult for myself talking about. And the only way I'm able to meditate is with guided meditations, because they are telling me what to think or not
mhm.
about. They are directing me away from the thoughts that are crumbled up in my mind and blocking me. So I do them every single day. And so I don't think every single person can read their own records. I don't think
No,
it's that easy.
no, it's not, because
Oh,
it does take being able to separate your thoughts from the messages coming in.
yeah.
And, sometimes you get stuck and you're like, well, this is what I think it should be. And, I've read my own records, but it's not recommended to do right away. Like you shouldn't, just because you get really stuck. But what's interesting now is I will pose a question and I will answer it how I think I should answer it. And then I'll go into my records and get an answer. And
Uh-huh.
it is almost never
The same.
no. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay. That that makes
I
more sense. It's
know,
just
I know.
funny.
It's like, okay, so I'm in therapy. I've been in therapy for a while. I went away from it uh, for a long time after I moved to Florida, but then 2020, like, whew, and the husband with the Parkinson's and all my stuff, and it was like I need to go back. And it's like she can tell me something I'm doing and how I'm doing the right thing and how this is the right thing to do. And it seems so perfectly reasonable what she's telling me. And then I will turn around and do the same thing I always do. And I'm talking about codependency and enabling a third person. And it is, I hear her. I believe her. I understand what she's telling me. I tell other friends when they're doing it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But something happened. I won't go into details. Something happened this week that it was so plain that I have been resisting the changes I need to make in my behavior. And finally, I found a way to take care of it without making myself feel bad, you know, because sometimes when you're close to a person or it's a family member, no is a very hard word. No is very hard. And so I found a way that I'm able to say no and be at peace with myself. And it worked really well because when I finally said a real no, blocked the person for a couple days. I don't want to hear, you know, because they just keep at you. She found another solution and I was off the hook. And I went, oh, that works. I'll do that, you know, because I am going to pick up the phone if she calls and I'm in a trap. So now if she's a little, she has bipolar. We talked about it, bipolar. So I just block her. And in a couple of days, she finds some other poor soul to take care of it, you know. And, but I wouldn't listen to my therapist, God, for years. I'd say, oh, yeah, okay, I'll do that. And then the girl would call and say, I need $20 for gas. And I'd give it to her, you know, every time. So that's one of the points about everybody's mind does not work the same, or you don't get the same meaning, or like you say, they tell you what to do, but then you don't do it. That's where I was going. So in the Akashic records, going into those supports deep healing and self-love, doesn't it?
It does. It does.
Yes. I think that was a lot that I got out of my readings with you. Um, and what's the most common reason you think that people should seek a reading, an Akashic reading?
I think the most, I think when you are in that place, when you suddenly start saying, why does this keep happening to me?
Yeah.
Where, you know, when you become aware of that loop, people who aren't aware of it yet, even if you don't know what it is or how to name it or where it came from or
Yes.
why, you know, most of the time it's going to come up that I think, you know, in your life, you're going to start saying,
Hmm.
it's other people's fault, essentially. Like you get to this place where you're like, this thing keeps happening. Oh, the same kind of people keep coming into my life, you know, well, it's their fault, their fault. That's a really good spot to come and get a reading and to see, because at some point it's not the rest of the world, because you are your world. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
your
You make
energy
your own
comes from
decisions.
you. Yeah.
And if you're basing your decisions on what that person wants, not what you want, you know, this whole codependency thing, the last few decades has been beaten to death. But just the only way you could really explain it. And I dealt with addicts and alcoholics. I still do because I'm a recovering alcoholic. In fact, this week I had 35 years sobriety. And
Congratulations.
I didn't even recognize it. Like the day came and went, and I didn't even think about it. My husband said, you have 35 years today, you know, but that's because I'm in a different place. I don't have to go to meetings. I have a spiritual program that meets my needs. And once in a while, if I go to a meeting, it's because a friend wants me to go for something. But yeah, so thank God I found that. And that's when I learned about enabling and stuff, you know. But sometimes It doesn't have to be an addict or somebody with a substance abuse. It could be people that are narcissistic, because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I attract very toxic, narcissistic people into my life that I think are going to be, oh, these are new friends. And all of a sudden, they are very needy and they act like I'm the only person that can solve their problems. No, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, thank God I've learned how to say no in a loving way, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Um, so you access my Akashic Records, and I have some questions about that. And maybe we need to go back and have another session. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean that is something that
You do?
happens. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot
Okay.
of times it makes more sense to have more than one session. You kind of get the initial reading, you learn some stuff. But yeah, there's a way and a really good um, program that I have of continuously working where we keep unpacking more things and more things and more things because once we get some things cleared, basically anything that gets cleared in our first session, those were the things that you were ready to deal with. So
Aha.
more things are going
Yeah.
to come up and more things and more things. And as you become ready to deal with them, we can, release more of those.
Okay. So I have currently, there's something there because it's causing a blockage in my present life. And I know what to do, and I know you can help me with it. But I'm really curious to see what specific past life event is causing the blockage I'm having now.
Mm,
So my spirit guides that I have, the six, we were talking about them before the show, and they were very strong after we did my Akashic records. They were very present, and they left a lot of little spiritual signals and things, and I knew they were there. But the last month or two, I don't feel them as strongly. Does that happen?
mm.
And why? If you can answer that one, I don't know.
Yeah. Let's see if I can answer it. A lot of times that is not them stepping away, but you putting up a barrier or a shell that
Oh,
is blocking the energy. So
hmm.
that could be of protection. It could also be there's deception. A lot of times it's protection where you are protecting your own energy and for whatever reason and if there's so many things going on in your life, maybe that's what you need to do right now is you
Ah,
protect that energy so that your body
right.
isn't getting signals even though your mind or your third eye, your intuition
Oh,
wants the signals but your body's like no.
I,
um
okay.
but
Yeah,
that would be worth looking into.
that works because, I have health problems and they just keep coming. And I wrote a book, Anatomy of an Alien, as you know, and it's comical to me because I published it, and then 2 months later, I had two more things happen health-wise that were weird, and now I have
Mm-hmm.
to add two more chapters to the book and republish it. But that's okay. And I had given it to all my doctors because I put real names in there, and they love the book. They love it. And as long as I said good things about them. Well, the ones that I didn't like, I didn't give them the book. So unless somebody tells them, they don't know. But I think that I am carrying some karmic contracts that I need to release, but I have the health problems. I have added responsibilities with my husband's health problems. I have drama in the family, that thing, all those things going on. So I was even cutting back a little bit. I didn't do as many podcasts last month as I normally
Mm.
do, and I didn't do as many social media. And I put the focus on self-care. And I am thinking that helped. Like my mind is feeling less cluttered. That's
Yeah.
it.
So
So,
your guides are giving me a visual because, most of my stuff comes through as kind of images, not necessarily words. But before you had sort of an energetic bubble, which we all do, but yours was closer. So they were closer, like kind of on the outside of your bubble, but you could hear them. You've
Mm-hmm.
expanded it now. And so
Oh,
they are out there, but you've pushed the walls so far away that you can't hear them anymore. They're still
wow.
there. They're talking, but it's
That,
almost a whisper now. Um,
okay.
so
Makes
it's like
sense.
you need to bring your energy in, and that might be you expanding your energy, just, how you said with so many people coming in. And I think a lot of your stuff is people, not necessarily situations. Some other people aren't going to have the people making the issues in their lives. It's going to be situations that seem to come up, Um, every time you get a little bit of money, something breaks down and suddenly you have no money again. Like
Mhm.
there's different ways that these patterns can show up. But
I
right
think it's
now,
people.
I think your energy is so expanded that it's not serving you necessarily. And it's not like you're pushing people away, but you've expanded your energy too much. And so you need to bring it in so you can hear them again.
So
Like,
glad you told me that. That fits. That so fits because, that's it. I'm still letting toxic people come into my life. And when I realize how toxic and needy they are, I have to find a way to detach a little bit. But even the realization was hard. I don't want to believe it, but it's true. There's some people out there that they really don't care about you. They care about what you can do for them.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
And, when I have phone calls with maybe one of them in particular, like it's all about her and her problems and everything. And the caretaker in me, I do want to help her and I do want to help her find solutions, but it's draining. It's draining. And,
Yeah.
yeah,
So I think what you've done is you're letting them into your energy bubble. That's why it keeps expanding. What you can do is get it right near you again,
okay.
which means the people can be physically near you or, mentally, energetically near you, but not in where you're at. So you have that mushroom, like there's a nice little story about it's raining and the little snail goes under the mushroom and then another little creature wants to come under the mushroom and there's always room for them. And this is a nice parable because the mushroom is growing because of the rain. So
Oh,
there's
right.
always room for others,
Yeah.
but your mushroom is probably too big. So
Right. Then I'm the only one that's doing anything. So it's really taxing. I'm glad you said that because my plan is, more self-care and a lot of things, and also distancing myself a little bit from these people because I don't know how to call it. Um, they're more takers than givers.
mhm.
And I need more giving people, not taking people. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I feel like I just had a session with you. So, um, do you think I think already, but let's see if you agree. Do you think I better work on they're big health problems and my self-care for a while before I go back into a session with you and look at karmic contracts I might have or deeper stuff? Think I should take a little wait?
No,
No,
no, that's actually no, because they can all kind of be related.
eat it. All
So
right. Well,
it's,
we'll have to set
some
set
releasing
up.
of those things might, and, it may make it just easier, more peaceful for you to deal with the other things.
Okay. Will you help me with that? You have to help me.
Yeah, good.
Okay, we'll do that. All right. Wow.
Because
So
body, mind, soul, they're all related.
I
They're
know
all
they're all
connected.
related, but I'll tell you what, there's a lot of people there that are very good at like leeching. They see you're a good, caring person, and then all of a sudden, you become their answer to everything. And
Yeah.
okay, this one girl, she's she's homeless. She's staying at somebody's house, but she's homeless.
Mm.
And I just went through a whole big thing until she found a job, until she was able to get a car, until she was able to, and I'm not giving her money, but I kept finding jobs around the house where I could pay her, like trying to be a source of funding for her, you know. And
Hmm.
like she'll literally call me up. Now she's 60. I'd say a girl. She's 60. And she'll call me up. To me, I mean, I'm 77, so she's a girl. And just say, do you have any work? And I literally look around, oh, you know what? I do need something painted or whatever. And that's okay because I don't feel taken advantage of. She gets her money, you know. But the one time she asked me for, no, let me go back. She was supposed to help. I gave her a job. She's going to paint my front door. Okay. So she came and she did the trim. And then, oh, I have to leave. I finally get a phone. I have to go pick it up. I said, okay. I said, but you know, I have to have you on a clock because we have a line between friendship and employee, you know, so
Hmm.
you can track your time. Oh, that's fine. While she leaves, I go to check out a home for my husband for when I take a respite, which I want to say court ordered, I'm doctor ordered to do twice a year. And I'm planning one. I have to find somewhere this time for him to stay because I have no family members available at this time frame. He has a walker and I have a walker. There's no way I'm going to put his walker in my car, my walker in the car, you know, that. So we have a thing here called Palm Tram, which is for disabled and elderly. It's only $4 and they'll take you anywhere. I set it up. They came. They took us, you know, they have a lift. It was easy. I'm not driving. It's not stressful. We get there, and I had been given the wrong address. It was a retreat house for the person, for the client, for the patient, but it was the wrong one. And this woman came out screaming, screaming, Erin, I don't have any room here. I have no more room. Take him away. Yeah, and she was from wherever, Jamaica, Haiti, whatever. So her English wasn't great. But the screaming I could understand. So we left, and she wouldn't even let us stay long enough to call and get the right address. So needless to say, Tom Trim told him he had to take us home. I was upset. Of course, I was upset. I got home, and this girl who knew nothing about it came back from getting her phone, and she saw I was upset. And she said to me, well, I can take you. And I took that as a friendship thing. When she said, I can take you, I thought she meant as a friend. So she took us to the right place and came back, and it's about an hour. And all she had done meantime was painted the door frame. Okay.
Hmm.
So I said, well, what do I owe you for today? And she said, oh, I don't know, $100. And I went, I was on the phone with her and she said, I said, oh, that's not what you think? I said, well, what does that $100 include? Is that saying like the whole job when it's finished? She said, no,
Hmm.
we're taking you to that place today and doing the dark room.
Hmm.
Well, I was able to say, which I'm proud of myself, I was able to say, you know, when you have a relationship where you're both employer and friend, there's hard to see the lines. I took that, oh, you need a ride? I can take you. I took that as a friendship offer, not an employee offer. I said it pretty nicely and effectively, and she agreed. She said, you're right. What do you want?
Good. Good for you.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I said, here's what I think the door trim was worth. And I would have given you $20 for gas anyway, even as a friend, because gas is expensive. So I'm
Hmm.
giving $20. So that worked out. That worked out.
Good.
But, you know, that's the thing. She's a needy person, and I have to realize that she's not necessarily being a friend when she offers me something. You get what I'm saying? I hope the people listening, I bet you they have people in their lives and they go through the same thing every day. So this will
They
help.
do.
Yeah.
They do. Yeah. Somebody recently said the whole actions framework would be something that I should put out and to people who just got out of narcissistic relationships.
Oh,
Because
wow.
if you've been broken down so much by a narcissistic relationship and you're trying to build yourself back up into yourself,
Oh my gosh.
become whole again, he was like, this would be really powerful. I'm like, it would.
Yeah, because
Because you get out of that relationship and you're raw and you've been told who you are for so long.
and another person can walk in and
Hmm.
take up the role that you just
Yeah.
got of, and oh my heavens, yes. So talking about my stuff and everything, a lot of things are coming up.
Hmm.
So I think it's time that I release some more stuff, and we're going to have to do something about that, the two of us. But also, when you do readings, you find out that there's talents and gifts that have carried over from previous lifetimes, right?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. You saw that in mine, I bet. The strength of the strength I have. I've been
Yes.
told all my life that I'm very resilient and a very strong person. So when you went, it's kind of funny, I'll tell our audience if they didn't hear the first one. When we did it, you said I think you said I had 6 lives. This is my sixth, maybe.
There's more, but that's how many came up in that reading.
That's
Yeah.
what came up. Okay. And you said the first one farthest back that came to you was, let's say it's 200 AD. We don't know for sure the exact date, but it was way back in that area. And you said I was a female gladiator, which I am hysterical about. I tell everybody, I said, I believe everything this woman tells me because I can envision myself as a female gladiator because I'm still a female gladiator.
Yeah.
And people that follow me or read my books, I had an abusive parent situation. I had abusive ex-husbands, two of them, right? And it's amazing that I am who I am today because I'm a female gladiator. I love that. I love that story.
Yeah. I
So
mean, it's like,
yeah,
of course you are who you are today.
of course.
You're a warrior. You
I
are
am.
like literally a warrior.
True. It really is true. And so I use that line all the time when friends or strangers or people I meet or doctors or anything say, "Oh, you've been through so much, but you always bounce back." And I say, "Well, I was a female gladiator in my other life." Oh my God. I have so much fun when I talk to you. So anyway, my soul's current purpose at this moment in my life, I know what that is. It's just that I can't let it drain me, because my legacy, my mission is to help other people, empower other people. Okay.
Mhm.
And I know that. And that's why I have my podcast, my YouTube show, my books. And my guides at one point told me that there is something else I am supposed to do, and I am ignoring it. And it didn't take me long to know what that was. I think you even mentioned it once in one of our sessions that there's something, and it's speaking, doing speaking engagements. So the other day, like I said, I use a walker, and I don't like to go to more than one place in a day because I have to take the walker in and out of the car. But the other day, I forced myself to take it out of the car when I was coming home from an appointment and go into my clubhouse where I live. And there's
Mhm.
hardly anybody there. And an older couple, older than me, came up and they were chatty and they were chatty. And all of a sudden, this man, I gave them my cards, and all of a sudden, this man says to me, "Hey, we need you to speak at our group. We have a group at the Jupiter Lighthouse, the Burt Reynolds Theater. Burt Reynolds used to live here in Jupiter, and they have a theater named after him. And they said, every month we have someone come and tell part of their life story." Now, Erin, that is a door opening. I see
Yes, it
that.
is.
I know that because of you. So we're going to keep in touch, and I am going to look into that. And they said, "Oh, and it's only 10, you only talk for about 10 minutes." I said, "Well, then I'm not going to tell my whole story in 10 minutes." But he said, "Just pick something, really dramatic out of it."
Mhm.
And I said, "Oh, I have a lot to pick from." There you
But
go.
how neat. I mean, start with one and that can turn into another 10 and another 10 and another
Yes,
10,
like they'll ask me
and then
back or
20 and
somebody else.
30. Yeah.
Yes. And someone else I was talking to said, you know, you have so much medical knowledge because you have so many conditions and you research and you find out all the facts. And you should have somebody medical have you come and do one of their events because you know so much about Sjogren's syndrome and, small nerve fiber neuropathy and all the things. I said, that's going to happen. I know it's going to happen. And sure enough, these people I met, I think are going to be the first step. So yeah, it works. It
Yep.
works if you keep it. Like I could have just let that go right by what he said, but I'm not. So I'll let you know what happens.
That's wonderful. The door
And
opened
and I'm gonna
because you had a visual before of the door opening behind you and you just pushing it. That was what it
You
was.
told
Like
me that.
you, yeah,
Yes.
you just kept making it
Yes.
shut. It was like if a cupboard door kind of swings open, you just
That
shut
you
it
told
with
me
that.
that.
And they're like, but no, 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 you're supposed to pay attention to these ones opening.
Yeah, you told me. And so
Mhm.
I did because that's what that was. And so I know what my next step is, and I have an avenue to do it. And I am going to bring my spiritual guides back in closer
Mhm.
because I miss the feeling of them being there. I know they're there, but they're not as, like you said, they're whispering. I want them to
Yeah, they're
talk
just too
louder.
far right now for you to hear. There's like too much between you and them. So
That's
you're going to
it.
bring your energy field into you.
I am going to do that.
So the other
And
people aren't in it. They can be where
yeah,
they are, but they're not going to be
yes,
in it. And that's going to make your guides much easier to hear.
this is what I'm doing. Oh, this was great. It's great, great, great. So, I got all my things I know I need to do, and I know what to do. And people listening, look Erin up. She has a book, she has a website, she has her action program, which is wonderful. She does readings, and you don't have to literally be in the same room with her to get a reading. Um, I'm in Florida, and where are you again?
Colorado.
I,
Yeah.
I wanted to say Colorado, but I didn't want to get it wrong. But yeah, so look her up. I'm going to have all the information at the end where you can get in touch with Erin. And she has helped me immensely, immensely. And I am going to do what I have to do. But Erin, before we
Yes.
end, what is the one core message that you want our listeners to take away today? What you think the most important thing they should get out of this?
You, well, as I say, you are the divine creator of your own experience. So you, just like on your social medias, if you keep paying attention to certain things, you set an algorithm that keeps feeding you that. And you can reset your personal life algorithm to be what you want it to be so that the things that you want to see and do and have keep coming to you. And
Yeah.
that's it. Like you are empowered. And so it's
Yes.
not even like great responsibility. Great. I'm responsible for everything in my life. No, you get to set these things. So if you look at it that way, you are empowered and enabled to change the things in your life. You don't have to just keep saying, that's just how it is.
Yeah, and
And
enable yourself, not other people. Learn the word no. And it's a complete sentence. And I love that you were here. I'm glad we got this in, and we're going to have a couple more on some other subjects we were talking about, like publishing your own book and your action program. So you guys will be hearing from Erin again, I hope. And I think she'll fit us in. But I have so much gratitude for the time I had with you today, and very right on insights for me. Great, great to see you, and I hope I see you again soon.
you too, Mimi.
Okay, I'm going to work on that. I'm going to call them. I know all their names. I'm going to call out their names and get them back. All right, everybody, have a pleasant day and open yourself up.